Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we actually have some pretty crazy news because we're now seeing some pretty big drama online right now. This is in regards now to some pretty big producers and basically suppliers, makers of GPUs. Now, as you guys know, Nvidia and AMD are both pretty big, pretty much I'd say almost if you're a gamer, household names. And as of right now, EVGA decided to go and terminate their partnership over here with Nvidia. We've now had Nvidia's official statements. We've had EVGA go on record now to state that they just don't want to deal with this anymore, and we have a lot of other various kind of big gaming drama going on too as well. This is also on top of the fact that EVGA was primarily one of the topper tier, card providers where a lot of folks love the warranty, their product, their overclocking, and everything else tied into it. And this is actually somewhat of a big blow when it comes to the gaming creative, industry as a whole when it comes to gamers. Now, obviously, there still are factory editions. There's other various companies as well with their own aftermarket cards and a lot of things to go talk about. So let's go talk about it. As well, if any of you guys are brand new, make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on in for the PS5 giveaway. Twitter and Twitch stream down below. Webull Coinbase down below. And everything else down below if you guys want to follow. Like I said, Twitter and Twitch stream, and we can go dive into it. So, very first and foremost, we'll go again a little bit more into details. Right now, it seems like EVGA has terminated their partnership with Nvidia, and they're not going to be carrying the 4000 series that will be upcoming soon. As you guys know, we're currently on the 3000 card series, so they have 3080, 3090, etc. They will not be working with the 4000 series. So, with that one, once it's announced, they're not going to be selling it, and as of right now, they're just selling all their current gen stock that they have. So all the current 3000 series cards they have, they're just going to sell them until all run out. So they'll send them over to Micro Center, Amazon, or whatever. And then on top of that too as well, then they're done. Then they're out of the whole GPU market. And then we've also now officially, before we dive into more details, Nvidia did have a statement on them already as well, stating, "We've had a great partnership with EVGA over the years and will continue to support them on our current generation of products. We wish EVGA CEO Andrew Hahn and our friends at EVGA all the best." So we've had now a little bit of a back and forth in the gaming community, but it's kind of crazy because as of right now, apparently these GPUs were 80% of EVGA's company's revenue. So this is actually a bigger deal than a lot of folks I think would actually assume. So we have an article over here from Ars Technica stating, GeForce GPUs are 80% of EVGA's revenue, but it's cutting ties with Nvidia anyway. EVGA will continue selling current gen cards until it runs out of stock, and there actually was a little bit more of an extra drama besides a nice applicable, oh, we're just fine, going our separate ways. There's actually a bit of drama as well tied on into it. So, as you guys know, graphics card manufacturer EVGA has made a name for itself manufacturing and selling NVIDIA's GeForce GPUs for 2 decades, including some of the more attractive price options in the market. But according now to a few different YouTubers and EVGA forum post over here, just even pulling it up, EVGA is officially terminating its relationship with Nvidia and will not be manufacturing cards based on the company's RTX 4000 series cards. So as you guys can see from EVGA Jacob over here stating, you may have heard some news regarding the next generation of products from EVGA. Please see below for a message. EVGA will not carry the next generation graphics cards. EVGA will continue to support its existing current generation products. EVGA will continue to provide the current generation products. EVGA is committed to our customers and will continue to offer sales and support on the current lineup. Also, EVGA would like to say thank you to our great community for many years of support and enthusiasm for EVGA graphics cards. Now, I think a lot of folks are kind of curious as well because there are other competitors, but as well there's also NVIDIA competitors such as AMD, and they also have apparently worked with AMD before. Although we are seeing some comments where it's hey, they just don't want to be in this GPU market at all. So with this, EVGA's graphics cards have exclusively used NVIDIA's GPUs since its founding in 1999, and according to Gamers Nexus, GeForce sales represent 80% of EVGA's revenue, making this a monumentous and arguably company-endearing change. But EVGA CEO Andrew Hahn told Gamer Nexus that the decision was about principle, which is even more intriguing in this thing in terms of drama, rather than financials. Hahn complained about a lack of communication from Nvidia about new products, including information about pricing and availability. Nvidia's pricing strategy was apparently another sore point for EVGA. Nvidia's first-party Founders Edition cards could often undercut the pricing of cards offered by EVGA and other vendors, forcing them to either lower prices or lose sales as a result. Now, Obviously, NVIDIA is making the products. They want to get as much as they can. And that's kind of why we sometimes see intriguing stuff, because if you look at the PS5, Walmart, Target, Best Buy, etc., they all have the same set pricing. Although, obviously, Sony would probably make more money because they don't have to deal with the shipping to, say, Walmart facilities, Target facilities, etc., etc. They instead just sell it directly from, like, off the factory. So they would have their own cutoff. It's more so like the cutoff there was on the, like the movement of the stock. While this is actually just pure price point. Like, you'd have, like, $1,000 Founders Edition versus, let's say, a $1,200 aftermarket EVGA. So NVIDIA may not be entirely at fault here. The wider dynamics of the GPU market are also tough to navigate. As Petty also points out, even as GPU costs have gone up, profit margins for the board partners that manufacture NVIDIA GPUs have gone down. Modern high-end GPUs have massively higher power, cooling, and PCI Express signaling requirements than cards from just a few years ago, making them more expensive to design and manufacture, and reporting about the 4000 series indicates that that trend is only going to continue. So you guys are kind of seeing like these margins are actually going down quite a bit, and basically NVIDIA, they're turning profits. They're making money. Their money is actually probably one of the highest we've ever seen in terms of ratios. Their margins have been good, especially in the pandemic. While as you guys look at their partners, it's getting like a very small margin business. To the point where like if you also have excess stock, which has been going on these past few months, that also is then now you just spent the money, you spent the labor, you spent the parts, and now no one's even buying it. Especially with the 4000 series coming, it may be even worse too as well. But it doesn't also help too that the GPU market has been plummeting back to earth this year, mainly because we've also seen Ethereum moving away from GPU mining, and they moved it to proof of stake, which is more of like a hosting, for a lack of a better term. Basically, like mining is you use the GPUs to solve algorithms to get crypto. Staking is like you kind of set up like imagine your computer and it's just like a node or like a server, for a lack of better terms. So in NVIDIA's last earnings call, CEO Jensen Huang complained of excess inventory of the 3000 series GPUs, and it made it miss his quarterly revenue projections by $1.4 billion. So for NVIDIA's part so far, its public stance can be summed up as so long and good luck to EVGA. So some pretty big drama that they're just like, well, who cares? We've had a great partnership with EVGA over the years, and we'll continue to support them on our current generation of products. NVIDIA spokesperson Brian Del Rizzo told Times Hardware. We wish Andrew Han and our friends at EVGA the best. The end of the EVGA and NVIDIA relationship could also hurt NVIDIA. So apparently Petty says that the EVGA represents about 40% of NVIDIA's GPU market share in America. But in the medium term, the company is unlikely to be phased much. NVIDIA has other partners, and despite differences in cooler design and clock speed, GPUs in the same series tend to perform similarly, regardless of which NVIDIA's partners actually made them. In other words, an RTX 3070 is an RTX 3070, and people who want one are just going to buy one from another company too as well. And I would kind of agree on that too. I've always had a pretty big favor versus both MSI and EVGA, but of course as well, if I could get a Founders Edition, I'm okay with that. If there's another company that kind of somewhat steps up and wants to try to take over EVGA's market share they already had, I'm sure they will. But it's very kind of crazy to see that they're just like, we're gone. Because I'm sure, like, if you guys can see, this was 80% of their market. Like, that's insane to go and see. And looking at NVIDIA's, it was 40% of their cards. So you would think that NVIDIA would be like, hey, like, we'll work a deal. We'll maybe give you slightly better cuts or cheaper price points. But I'm also kind of curious to see if NVIDIA is just trying their best to focus more on their own, like, wholesale. Like, they'd rather just go and not deal with these middlemen, not have people changing their products, and just trying to fine-tune their, like, 4,000 cards as best as they can, and then sell their own initial stock with more Founders Editions rather than anything else. And, I mean, that would maybe work out, too, because then they're getting more profits. You guys can also see by the chart, like, if they do that and they have their own sourcing, and they have been doing that somewhat well, it might be perfectly fine. So EVGA will continue to sell its other products, including power supplies. Though Han told Gamers Nexus that the company doesn't plan to return to the GPU market at all. So not with AMD or Intel GPUs, and not with the future GeForce product generations. Hans also said that EVGA would continue to sell the cards based on the older GeForce GPUs, including the 3000 series, until they run out of stock later on this year. Now, I think this is cool because they do other stuff like motherboards, peripherals, power supplies, or whatever. But the big thing is that if they're not making money, they're not making money. But you would kind of think that there'd be more of like a relationship because, like I said, if they have a 40% of their market share, you'd think they want to keep it. But I guess we'll kind of see what happens. I don't think this is necessarily a bad thing for NVIDIA or whatever. I'm just be more worried about what EVGA wants to do in the future, especially if this was most of their normal market. So give me your thoughts and comments down below. As well, if any of you guys are brand new, make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on, as well for the brand new PlayStation 5 giveaway, and the Amazon links down below, Target links down below, and all the other various good things. Let me know your thoughts as well down below.